Now at 10, we are tracking showers and thunderstorms across the region, plus very intense winds over the next 24 hours. I'm going to have those details.
Plus, Mima, Oklahoma police share advice on helping prevent business break-ins. And
for the first time, a former president of the United States will face criminal charges. I'm Michael George in New York with what we know about the indictment of Donald Trump.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
For the first time in U.S. history, a former president has been indicted. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Donald Trump is facing a criminal indictment in Manhattan court. We don't yet know what the charge or charges are, but they stem from a grand jury investigation into hush money payments made on his behalf. Reporter Michael George is in New York with details.
A Manhattan grand jury voted to indict former President Donald Trump on Thursday, making him the first former president to face criminal charges. The indictment, confirmed by his attorneys, remains under seal. The district attorney's investigation is related to hush money payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels in the run-up to the 2016 election, and whether Trump falsified records to hide it.
They have nothing.
In a statement, Trump said he's a completely innocent person and that this is political persecution and election interference at the highest level in history.
The fact that he may be indicted now does not have any effect whatsoever upon his running for president.
CBS News legal analyst Ricky Kleeman says the current presidential candidate will still be treated like any other person facing charges.
He will be processed. He will have a mugshot. He will get a booking number. He will give fingerprints, albeit electronically rather than by ink.
Trump is expected to surrender next week here at the Manhattan Criminal Courthouse, where the NYPD has already stepped up its presence.
All of the law enforcement partners at the state, local, and federal level will be joined hand in hand with the Secret Service to accomplish this mission.
Trump is facing several other investigations, including his handling of classified documents, his role in the January 6th Capitol attack, and his alleged attempt to overturn the 2020 election results in Georgia. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
The White House declined to comment on news of the indictment. Russia's security service arrested an American reporter for the Wall Street Journal on espionage charges. It's the first time a U.S. correspondent has been detained on spy accusations since the Cold War. 31-year-old Evan Gershkovich was detained for allegedly trying to obtain classified information. The newspaper denied the allegations and demanded his release. 9 people were killed in a crash involving 2 Army Black Hawk helicopters in Kentucky. The helicopters were conducting a nighttime training exercise when the scene turned tragic. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin issued a statement saying he's saddened by the loss, adding that he's working to make sure troops and families receive the care they need in the wake of that accident. Missouri House Republicans today voted to ban diversity spending in the state government. State representatives voted along mostly party lines in favor of a proposed $45 billion Missouri budget. It would block funding for staff, vendors, consultants, and programs associated with diversity, equity, and inclusion throughout state government and public colleges and universities. The proposal could have a tougher time when it goes to the GOP-led Senate. The Senate Appropriations Committee chairman has said he plans to strip the language from that budget. Authorities in Coffeyville, Kansas have arrested a suspect in an armed robbery at Walmart over the weekend. Police say the robber pulled out a firearm, robbed the store clerk, and left with an undisclosed amount of cash. Authorities say the suspect was arrested without incident. Official charges have not yet been filed. A home fire investigation in Jasper, Missouri turns into a death investigation. A little after 1 this morning, drivers along I-49 reported the fire just south of Baseline Boulevard, east of the interstate. When fire crews arrived at the burning home, the fire was too intense for them to enter, but neighbors said they believed a resident was in the home. Crews eventually found one person dead inside. There's no word yet on the cause of the fire or the name of the victim. A Miami, Oklahoma business that just recently opened has already been the target of a crime, not once but twice. Brian Barnes opened his vape shop just 2 months ago, and he's had 2 break-ins within 1 month. One time someone threw a rock through a window. In another case, someone broke through a door. They didn't steal much. Local authorities have worked with Barnes, and it seems the presence of cameras and an alarm system helped both times. Police department advises business operators to direct cameras to download to an off-site location.
We've had a couple burglars that have broken into buildings and they steal the DVR, so you lose that evidence. So if you have one that downloads elsewhere, very helpful to us, just so we get the best evidence to help prosecute these crimes.
Anderson advises business owners to install good locks, barriers in front of windows, and add lighting, as thieves tend to avoid those well-lit areas. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, of course, very warm and windy day for us today, and then the winds have been picking up this evening. Of course, we've had showers, we've had thunderstorms. The winds are going to continue to increase tonight into tomorrow. High wind warning. I can't even remember last time we had a high wind warning here in the purple, but this is going to be for winds gusting 50 to 60 miles per hour. Red flag warnings in the red. So the winds, definitely an aspect of this storm system. Also, we've had the showers and thunderstorms continuing to work through. Most of them right now on the Missouri side from Monette up to Stockton Lake. We are going to get a little bit of a break as we go through the next few hours, and then they're going to flare up again as we go into tomorrow morning. Most of us sitting upper 50s to near 60. We're not going to drop off much more as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Of course, we're going to talk about storms and wind and the weekend here in just a bit.
Catch you then. Ascension Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh today taught people about a new way to treat Parkinson's disease. The hospital is now offering a physical therapy using whole body movements. Officials say the treatment improves walking speed, balance, mobility, and can strengthen speech quality.
We work on being loud, taking those deep diaphragmatic breaths, using the diaphragm to push that air through those vocal cords and amplifying the voice. And then we personalize it to the patient by working on what we call functional phrases, and those are things that are personal to you.
The treatments are called LSVT Big and LSVT Loud. Coming up, a worker shortage in restaurants, how some Southwest Missouri restaurants are managing. Plus, Pitt State's Sperry-Herbarium celebrates a milestone. The Springfield area is known for, among other things, being a place where people love to go out to eat. And the number of new restaurants continues to grow there and all across Missouri. But with existing eateries already struggling to find workers in a depleted workforce, the question is, are new businesses having a hard time finding employees? Reporter Joe Hickman set out to get some answers.
If you're hungry in Springfield, there's no shortage of places to eat. What there is, however, is a shortage of employees to run those places. Anyone who's eaten out or gone through a drive-thru has probably experienced that problem. The food business is critical to the state's economy. There are almost 12,000 restaurants in Missouri, accounting for 9% of the state's entire workforce, and pumping $14.2 billion into the economy every year. In downtown Springfield, just 2 doors down from a closed restaurant, and in the same space as another closed restaurant, James Daniel and his business partner own Cabos Bonitos Grill and Cantina, which has been open
4 days.
Daniel admits that opening a restaurant during a time when limited supply chains and dwindling workforces can be major headaches.
Yeah, it was kind of scary at first.
He's still managed to fill all 27 of his staff positions.
I had a lot of people in my background that has worked for me in the past, different companies, and they just came out with us to get it started.
And the key to convincing them to come work for him?
A little bit higher pay.
Meanwhile, in South Springfield, Deshaun Howard opened the Jamaican Patty Company, Caribbean Food and Market in 2018, surviving the pandemic.
Very challenging.
And using a unique recruiting tool to get his workforce, the food.
We've got lucky with having customers that actually want to work for us.
Howard plans on adding another location downtown and says he's learned that being flexible with a business model is important.
That's kind of how we survive COVID. It's just being able to work with less employees and just being more productive with less.
And Howard, who's also a real estate agent, says in order to attract a workforce, restaurant owners have to realize
it's more of a relationship business at the same time. That's what real estate too. Make it cool and fun for people to want to work for you. And of course, pay them what they're worth.
If you're interested in finding a job in the 4 states, go online to jobs.koamnewsnow.com. The Sperry Herbarium at Pitt State celebrated a huge milestone today. Freshman Elena Fulkerson had the honor of mounting the herbarium's 50,000th plant specimen. The herbarium was established back in 1946 with just 100 specimens and now includes representations from southeast Kansas and the region. It also includes plants from nearly all U.S. states and 59 countries. Mounting the specimen meant a lot to Elena.
To me, it was a really great honor because I've only been working here for like about a year, so that was really nice for them to let me do that because I know Michael collected it and he's here today. So it was really cool because this is, I think it's a state record actually. It's only ever been found in Utah before in like 4 counties.
Elena is a biology major with an emphasis in botany. The specimen is called a rock crest and it's from southern Idaho. And as Elena mentioned, Michael Daines is the one who found that specimen. Pitt State is honoring one of its most distinguished alumni. The university today hosted a reception for this year's Distinguished Service Award recipient, this woman, Lindsay Young. Young graduated from Pitt State with a bachelor's degree in 2005 and a master's degree in 2009. Since then, she's volunteered with the school, mentored students, and is a member of the Alumni Association Board of Directors.
Very involved in the School of Construction and then also with the Kels College of Business. So I know that both of those faculty and staff have seen what things that I've done from a time standpoint and just giving back to the students and giving back to the school.
That reception was at Pitt State's Alumni Center. The Alliance of Southwest Missouri has pledged its support for a young Joplin family as they prepare to embark on a journey to Japan for the Strider World Cup race. That event is a race among young kids, really young kids, on Strider bikes. 3-year-old Silas McCain has been selected as one of 10 representatives for Team USA in his age category. However, with only 2 months remaining until the big event, the family has to raise $7,500 to cover travel and lodging expenses.
The Alliance has agreed to match up to $500 to help Silas get to Osaka, Japan. So we're very excited for him to be able to compete on that international level and represent Team USA. And we're just so excited that we get to kind of put Full Potential's name on that to get the name out there and let people know about this program that really does exist to help families.
The organization is calling on the community to make donations to the family's GoFundMe account. If you want to donate, you can find Silas's GoFundMe account on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. A little later, some Pitt State football standouts showcase their skills for NFL scouts at the university's Pro Day.
Plus, we still have scattered thunderstorms we have to deal with and the winds over the next 24 hours. We're going to talk about it coming up. Well, of course, a very warm, we went well into the 70s today, very windy day. We had a lot of clouds and then thunderstorms really popped up throughout the evening hours and have been in the vicinity for the past, 5 or 6 hours. All right, high wind warning in effect for us tomorrow. Why? Winds are going to be gusting 50 to 60, really from this point on until tomorrow evening. In the red flag warnings, which are also winds gusting kind of in that 40 to 50 mile per hour range. And once we get our dry line or a little front that drops through by noon tomorrow, the humidity plummets. And with the winds, that is obviously a big fire danger. So you don't want to do any burning outside tomorrow afternoon. All right, look at the thunderstorms plowing through. This is kind of the last batch for several hours, and then they're going to flare back up once again as we get into the morning hours. So most of these on the Missouri side. We can go ahead and zoom in. So here's Cassville, Monette, Aurora, up to Mount Vernon, so along I-44. So really now from Mount Vernon over towards Springfield. Let's go a little bit farther north. Showers, thunderstorms, Greenfield, and then a little farther north up towards Stockton Lake. But along the I-49 corridor, we are starting to dry out. So this is going to push east. They're going to flare up again later on tonight. But see this little line of clouds? That is our dry line. It's a wind shift line, but it also kind of drops the humidity tremendously behind that point where our temperatures won't drop once it passes. That will be tomorrow night. All right, look at the winds right now. We have sustained winds, 15 to 25. Then you get these bursts, these gusts. We've been sitting right around 40 to 50. You can see a couple over 50. mile per hour. So these are really going to get cranking as we go through the rest of tonight into tomorrow morning. By morning, gusts, just about everybody 50 to 60 miles per hour. So if you haven't lost your trash can yet or your patio furniture, you may want to secure it as the winds are going to stay strong. All right, thunderstorms moving out. Pretty quiet the rest of the night. Start to flare back up. So here's 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. These get moving. So by 8 to 9 a.m., some of these storms could be a little bit on the strong side. We may even get one low-grade severe storm. Then they exit and push through. We break out and we see sunshine. Now, by the noon hour, we have this little line here. This is going to be the beginning of the big severe weather event. It pushes through. That's the dry line. Our humidity drops. Severe weather out across central Missouri. Then we get the sunshine, but it's going to be very windy. Finally, the cold front shifts through late tomorrow night. We drop into the upper 30s. Saturday is going to be a great day. It's just going to be a little chilly, high temps, upper 50s to near 60. All right, so we could get a few strong storms in the morning. Big severe threats central, eastern parts of Missouri. It's going to be a pretty big severe weather day for them as we go into tomorrow afternoon. Our temperature is pretty good once we get into the sunshine. High temps sitting into the mid 70s for us tomorrow. We are going to make it an alert day because, well, winds are going to be near severe storm strength, so they're going to be up there. 74 tomorrow, 58 Saturday, 71 Sunday. We may get a shower in our far southern counties. Most of us have a perfect weekend. 80 Monday, 80 Tuesday, but thunderstorms and a severe threat return early next week.
I was just thinking, if you want to imagine 50 to 60 mile an hour straight line winds, imagine driving at highway speeds in a convertible with no windshield.
There you go.
That's what you're talking about. Wow. Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, Pitt State football hosts its pro day today. We're going to hear from a few Gorillas who worked out for those NFL scouts. And Carl Junction baseball hosts an interstate showdown with Frontenac. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more next.
The Frontenac Raiders opened the baseball season with a 4-2 win over the Nevada Tigers on Monday night. Tonight, the Raiders face another team from across the state line, hitting the road to play Carl Junction. Now, the Bulldogs have already played 5 games. They're 2-3 coming into this one. Lucas Van Landuit, good early on the mound for Carl Junction. Gets a pair of strikeouts here in the first. This game scoreless after 1. In the second inning, Frontenac has runners on the corners. Bryant Kitchen draws the throw to second. That allows Mario Mangini to come in from third. The Raiders have the first run of the game. Now, bottom half, check this out. Bryant Kitchen on in relief for the Raiders. This is before he even throws his first pitch. Picks the runner off at second. This game stayed tied until the 7th, but Frontenac gets a pair in the 7th, going on to win 3-1. In Pittsburgh, softball home opener for the Purple Dragons tonight, hosting SCK rival Chanute. At the bottom of the third, it's 1-0 Blue Comets. Callie Terry drives it up the middle into center. Brett Pasteur scores. Game is tied at 1. Move ahead to the 4th now. Sydney Neville lines this one into center. That ball finds some grass. Megan Johnston scores. Pittsburgh has their first lead. It's 2-1. Now to the 6th. Look at this. Megan Johnston slices it down the right field line. It stays fair. She would hustle around all 4 bases for the inside the park home run. That gives the Purple Dragons a 3-1 lead. Now to the 7th, 6-1 Pittsburgh. Last chance for Chanute. But the double play there ends it. Pittsburgh beats Chanute 6-1 in their home opener. Well, today is opening day for Major League Baseball. Both the Kansas City Royals and St. Louis Cardinals are in action today, both playing at home to kick off their schedule. Now, the Cardinals have an interleague series to start things off with a 3-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays. Game 1 tonight, really good game, but the Blue Jays win it 10-9. The two teams combined for 34 hits in this one. Nolan Arenado for St. Louis goes 2 for 5 with a double and 3 RBIs. As for the Royals, they open their season with a series against AL Central rival Minnesota. In Game 1 this evening, Kansas City gets shut out 2-0. The Royals manage just 2 hits in the game. Pittsburgh State football hosts its NFL Pro Day today. It's a chance for Pitt State football players and other players from around the region to work out in front of pro scouts and try to earn their spot in the league. Now, the Gorillas had 4 guys work out today for NFL scouts. Offensive lineman Corey Woodruff, defensive end Keandre Hall,
Then wide receivers Bryce Murphy and Mark Wieland. Now Woodruff was a first-team All-MIAA selection and an All-American this season for Pitt State. Here he is on his workout and trying to earn his shot to play in the NFL.
All the NFL is you know, the biggest, fastest humans on earth, and I'm up there. So I'm big, I'm fast, I'm agile, I'm quick. I can do anything an NFL coach asks of me. So at the end of the day, I felt like I was born and God blessed me with these abilities, so that's why I'm here.
I feel like the morning went well. I wanted to come out here and showcase my abilities, show that I can get in and out of breaks, and show my vertical and my jumps.
Being able to have this opportunity is a blessing at Pitt State. Coming from a small school, you know, not a lot of guys get this chance, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime chance. So I was just thinking before to show up, give it all I got, and take advantage of the opportunity.
All four of those guys look good today. We wish them well trying to make the league.
Yeah, it'd be great to see one or all of them in the NFL.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. A mammoth meatball was unveiled this week at a science museum in the Netherlands, and I don't just mean mammoth big. Scientists from the Australian food startup Vow said they grew the meat in a lab after inserting DNA from a long extinct woolly mammoth into a living sheep cell. Vow's founder said the experiment wasn't necessarily about actually bringing a 4,000-year-old protein to market. Instead, the company hopes it's going to get people talking about the future of lab-grown food. So no one supposedly is actually going to eat that meatball.
I don't know if I would eat that
How are we going to
meatball.
know if it's good or not?
Tastes like chicken.
Okay.
No. They actually say it smells like crocodile, which seems oddly precise to me.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I don't
wouldn't
know. And you got to think some scientists
Maybe the sheep
taste it.
ate a crocodile.
That's probably it. Yeah. All right. Quickly, the weather.
All right, scattered thunderstorms popping back up tomorrow morning and super windy.
Final sports
You can
notes.
check out extended interviews with all four guys for Pitt State who participated in Pro Day on our website.
Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.